probably the most important chapter in the entire course is in fact the introduction, because we're going to go over exactly what goes on, the first step of the process, and what you need to do when you enter an insurance claim, when you enter an insurance loss, and you're going to get that right now. It's so important that you put everything together right from the beginning, so make sure you catch this next video. And 2 more new chapters coming into our course, and that's from David Farber. The Farber Law Firm is going to teach you everything on the legal side, who's been my attorney since the beginning of my career, and my personal accountant, Jeremy Davis, is going to teach you everything about taxes and growing your wealth. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Commercial Claims Advocate Online University. My name is Vince Perri. I will be your instructor throughout this entire course, throughout this very intense and in-depth claims process course. We're going to teach you everything from A to Z on really what goes into the claims process. So let's take you right into it. All right, so this is the Commercial Claims Online University. And what we're doing here today is we're basically we're going to teach you how to learn the claims process without making real life mistakes. Okay. The goal with this course is to give you such an in-depth understanding of the claims process, and basically taking you 14 years of tried and tested processes and mistakes that I've made in claims, and making sure that you guys do everything right, everything correct right off the bat. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, my origin story. I was basically a tennis instructor for most of my life. I played tennis for my entire life, played college tennis as well. And after playing college tennis, I became a tennis instructor. I didn't want to be a tennis instructor for my whole life, but that's just sort of what happened. My dream was to become a sports agent, took the LSAT to try to get into law school, and realized that wasn't the direction for me, until one day I actually started teaching a student who was a public adjuster. And I was wondering how he was able to not only afford 4 private lessons per week at $70 each, but also be able to attend them all. So he told me he was a public adjuster, did a little research, and I actually found a blog that compared a public adjuster to a sports agent, because you're representing your client and you're negotiating on their behalf against the insurance company, or i.e. the sports team. That was it. That's when I fell in love with the industry, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. After getting my independent adjuster's license, I applied at many different independent firms and also insurance companies. And after about 4 months of applying, I actually landed a job with State Farm Insurance as an auto claims adjuster. I gave it a shot. I wanted to see what it was like. It was a very difficult transition for me, from basically working for myself as a tennis instructor, independent contractor, to working as a full-time W-2 employee, having a steady income, all the benefits, working 9 to 5, having a schedule of when to be on the phones, when to be on the calendar, when to take a break, when to take lunch. It was a very difficult transition for me, one that I was not very good at. And after about a year working with State Farm, I decided to pursue my original dream of becoming a public adjuster. So I quit my job in 2008. Of being a State Farm adjuster. This is during the financial crisis. Got a standing ovation walking out of the office because everybody was happy I was getting out of that hellhole. And I decided to pursue the public adjusting career. I started teaching tennis again to make some extra money while I could sort of rack up insurance claims and eventually get paid for them. And I started working for a company. It's very important that you choose the right firm to work for, right? Because the first company and the first public adjusting firm that I worked for was not a very good firm. It was quite a large firm with a lot of adjusters, a good admin support, an entire office of people following up with the insurance company, so on and so forth. But the owner of the company was very difficult to get a hold of, and there was no guidance, there was no mentorship, there was nobody that could really watch out for me. And after a year working there, I was asked to sign a non-compete, which would have kept me there for at least 5 years. And it wasn't something, I wasn't totally sold on the company and the environment and the mentorship and the guidance. So I decided to part ways with them. And that was just after 1 year. So although I wasn't quite ready to start my own firm yet. So what I did was I did have a friend who was working for some other firm. And my idea for this next firm that I was going to work for was, I'm going to work here just for 1 more year to get another year under my belt, and I'm going to start my own firm. Well, that 1 year turned into about 12 because of the mentorship I had from the owner of the company. It was a much smaller firm, only a handful of adjusters, and everybody basically did their own thing, but everybody can go to the owner for any kind of advice, any kind of questions, or even he would go and inspect properties for us. He would help us with our estimates and all kinds of assistance that I never had from the larger firm. I was getting it from from this one and from this particular individual. And because he was so good to me, he was such a mentor to me, not just in my public adjusting career, but in my personal life and other endeavors as well, that I just decided to commit full loyalty to him and have been with him, was with him for about 12 years before finally starting the Commercial Claims Advocate and feeling it was time to go on my own. So it was, it's why I've done this as well, because of the great mentoring that I had. I want to also do the same for others and be there to answer any and all of their questions and be a mentor to as many other public adjusters as possible. So so that's my story. Who is this course for? I'm going to tell you right here. It's basically for 4 people, either newly licensed adjusters. These are younger people who are basically, maybe they just decided to make this leap and they want to actually pursue an adjusting career, whether that be an independent adjuster or a public adjuster. I'm going to go through the entire claims process anyway. So it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are on. If you are a newly licensed adjuster, this course is going to be incredible for you because you are going to learn A through Z of the insurance claims process and what needs to be done in order to be successful. Experienced adjusters looking for an edge. Even if you've been doing this for 10 plus years, I guarantee there's going to be something that you learn from this course that will benefit you. You will be able to take something out of this, whether it's one of the chapters or something that I say, or it could be some of the letters and templates that we're going to include for you upon downloading this course. I promise, no matter what, no matter how long you have been doing this, you will learn something from this course that you did not know before. Contractors, roofing contractors, restoration contractors. Obviously, you guys are limited on what could be explained and what you can say and complaints you can file and policy language that you can quote. However, I think it's very advantageous for you as a contractor to still know what goes on behind the scenes from the insurance adjuster standpoint. There's a lot of things that go on that you may not know, a lot in the follow-up process, a lot of intense letters, a lot of quotes that we quote on the policy, a lot of arguments that we put towards the insurance claim. I think it's very good, whether you could use them or not, to have a knowledge of them, because either it's very good to just not only just know the behind the scenes, but if you do start working as a contractor with a public adjuster, I would strongly recommend that you know exactly what separates a good public adjuster from a bad public adjuster. And then the last person is the attorneys who want to know what goes on behind the scenes of the claims process, attorneys that are looking for good public adjusters and contractors to work for. They will also know the difference. Okay, here's what I'm looking for in a good public adjuster to make sure that the file that they've put together is a complete file. Because what we're going to be doing here is basically putting together an entire complete file that is it's a slam dunk. It's a guarantee to get paid one way or the other. So newly licensed adjusters who are in a new and exciting career, experienced adjusters, contractors, and attorneys. Who's this not for? Is frankly advocates who don't want to get it right. Okay. If you are just, if you just feel that you know it all and you think that you've got it all under control, then that's fine. Or if you're just happy just doing the absolute minimum, then you go ahead. You don't need this course. Or people who've already got their processes figured out. Maybe you've got everything figured out from A to Z. You don't need any changes. If you think that you've got it figured out, then that's fine. Or advocates who are just simply satisfied with the status quo. If they're okay and they don't want to get better and they don't want to better themselves and they don't want to actually get out there and learn something new, well, then those are the people who this course is not for. My goals for this class is I'm going to show you exactly how to work a claim from A to Z. I'm going to show you the documents that you need. I'm going to show you how to organize your file. I'm going to show you what system to use. I'm going to show you the follow-up process, how often you should follow up, and what letters you should send throughout that follow-up process. We're going to give you all the tools that you need along with it to make sure that you are being successful in the interview process when you first meet an insured, in the inspection process with the insurance company, and also in the follow-up process and settlement process, and as well as the dispute process that comes after. And I'm going to show you exactly how we as a company, Elite Resolutions, how we have implemented this process and basically use it for all of our adjusters throughout the country. We are licensed in several states throughout the country, and it's basically a very similar process. We have a process for each state, which is basically this course that I'm giving you, and with some slight little minor changes depending on some of the laws and some of the statutes that that state has. But for the most part, it is a very iron tight set process that we've got over 14 years of experience that we've put together here for you guys to take your insurance claims to the next level. So you ready? All right, let's go. Are you tired of waiting forever and a day to get paid on your insurance claim? Are you tired of having to drive to the insured's house so that you can pick up your check and give them a check? What if we could take all of this away from you by using InkPay? InkPay is a godsend to our company. Everything is handled electronically. You take a photo of the check, you upload it directly into their software, and they take care of everything else. And the best part is the money gets directly deposited into your account. And when there's a mortgage company on there, they handle the entire mortgage company process as well. You have to call InkPay. It's been a game changer in my company. I strongly recommend them, and I want you to go ahead and find them and use it in your company so you could streamline your payment process after the claim gets paid.